This is Sam. He's a professor of mass communications at Millikan University in Decatur, Illinois. Sam is one of my very best friends, and I've known him for probably close to 10 years now. There are a few things that he loves in life more than baseball, movies, and music, which is probably why we get along so well. I recently met up with Sam to do some digging, and we brought along a camera and let it roll. This is our record run.
I can't believe we're going to post this. I don't even ever want to be a YouTube star. And then I'm just...
I let Sam pick the record store, and he took me to GB's Tapes and CDs in Decatur. It was in an older part of town.
Like we're in like the Wire lane.
Yeah, oh man. This little section of town is no doubt like, you're just like, what happened?
It's like the apocalypse happened here.
Yeah.
But a place with a skeleton and a Santa hat in the front window is a place definitely worth checking out.
Alright, so this is GB's CDs and tapes and Decatur.
GB's ended up being a really good store. Despite the interesting clientele and the frigid temperatures inside, it produced some great finds for both of us. Sam picked up a copy of Days of Future Past by the Moody Blues, which he wavered over the rest of the afternoon. His initial questioning and eventual acceptance of the pickup is a perfect example of the agony and ecstasy of collecting records.
Yeah, it was a cool shop. I liked it. The prices were pretty fair.
Yeah. Every once in a while I find something in there that is just ridiculous, and I'm like, what? But like that All Things Must Pass for $50.
Yeah.
I know it's one of those things, triple album, interesting packaging, but the place in the ceiling is falling down in the back there.
It was
vinyl by the door is.
Something.
Definitely. Yeah. I like that place though, and those two guys they're pretty nice. I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most people I've ever seen there.
Really?
No doubt about it. That doubles the most people I've ever seen. That's the thing, you go into a place like that, but you know what you're getting. Just like when you go to Vintage Vinyl, you're like, well, I'm paying $2 or $3 extra a record sometimes. I know someone's priced it, cleaned it, all that stuff. And so I like both experiences.
Oh yeah. I got the Lemon Pipers, the Green Tambourine. I saw that recycled records the other day for like $15.
They probably charge you $2 for it.
Yeah, it had to been $3. The United States of America I picked up. That's usually like a $20 to $25 album, and I think I got it for $2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like sometimes the finds in there, especially unpriced, are pretty gold. I'm like I said, happy to pay $9 for this Moody Blues. Yeah, it's not my thing. It's probably the only Moody Blues record I ever purchased. A little bit, gosh, I would have been so much happier with this purchase if somebody had initialed it. But again, I kind of feel like anytime you see something from the 60s and it's white border and it's not just destroyed, you're like, hey, I'm in good shape there. Then I got an In Through the Outdoor with the paper sack primarily intact, which is I already have that one, a pretty good copy of it, I think. But for $9, I'll pay for a paper sack because it's my favorite group.
Oh yeah.
I'm so not a Moody Blues person, but this is one of those albums that, like, first of all,
White Sands.
Yeah. Well, and Forever Afternoon Tuesday and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And this was one of the best sellers of the 60s, wasn't it? Or was this late or early 70s?
I think late 60s.
I'm getting a little pumped with that Moody Blues record. Thinking more and more about it. I'm like, nice little psychedelic pickup there, Sam. And I'm sure, record store in a downtown location, you're always going to get oddballs, you're always going to get people, but it's so weird just hearing what people ask for.
Yeah, like the Baja Man.
Yeah,
who say you let the dogs out?
And I sat there and I watched it there. It was like 5 minutes and they were still talking about it.
I know.
It was the Baja Man.
I know, and I wanted to say something when they first said it. I was like, kind of embarrassed that I know what
I'm
the
not going
first
to get involved in this conversation about
Like, I don't want to know where it
early
leads.
2000s pop. It's so interesting too because that's just like sponge information that you picked up over your life.
Yeah.
But if you say that, you're worried about somebody talking to you about the group.
Right.
Like, you didn't even know their name, and now you're like, oh, they were revolutionary. People say the weirdest things in record stores. That's one of the things I like about those guys. They're just kind of patently honest.
Yeah, oh,
I think that it's so funny because they get people who are looking for Snoop Dogg CDs. And they're like, man, I'll tell you what, I don't think these guys listen to Snoop Dogg, but okay.
That sounds truly terrible.
So that's one of those things though where you can spend a day looking through 45s,
Yeah.
and you can be like, okay, there's 3 of these that I'll actually pay for, and then they're like, oh, but they're 10 cents? Well, I'll buy 300. Every once in a while they will, if it's just like you and them, they'll just like bicker back and forth between each other about some band and how they shouldn't say something about it because there's customers in the shop. I'm telling you that one time about Arcade Fire, that's chick music. They only like it for the guys. Guys don't actually like that music. That's the type of stuff women. And women never like bands as much as guys. It's just all about how good looking the guy. It was just like he rants about it, and the other brother was like, you shouldn't say that.
I would say Mexican and Italian are pretty neck and neck.
Gosh, Italian is my number one. I would be so fast if I was Italian, as opposed to just real fast.
I don't know if you saw in the unpriced section they had a Amagama.
Yeah, I'm not that's Pink Floyd is one of those groups where I am very much about the 3 big albums.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff I'm just so lukewarm on.
Yeah.
There was a half-tracked master of Wish You Were Here, and they had 150,000.
I saw that, yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. That's one of those things, though, where I don't even think I could explain it to Melissa what it was and why it was worth that. Even though I do think that's overpriced. But this was mastered at half speed. What does that mean? Why, you could have just bought a CD. You already had that CD.
Yeah, that's the thing, like that Joshua Tree, I picked that up. And Missy will say, like, oh, don't you have it on CD? Yeah. You need 2 copies. It's not 2 copies. I have a CD copy.
Yeah, that's not
and
2
they're
copies.
separate.
Yeah.
They're not one and the same.
I have one collection and I have another collection. They both, At this point, there's not many records, and I think you've rubbed off on me, man. There's not many records I'm willing to do more than $10 for.
Yeah.
Or $12.
It's one of those things, like, if you're hitting one shop regularly, like, it's going to be tough to find stuff, and you know kind of what the shop offers. So, I mean, some of this stuff takes a little work, and I'm not big on buying online. Like, I want to be able to see it, because, I mean, who knows how somebody grades a record. I bought a couple online. Usually, I have no trouble buying new vinyl, on Amazon, so that's fine. I've never had issues with that. But, eBay, I've bought a couple records there, and it's, you're always like, oh, man, is it going to be as described? Is it worth paying the price? Was it worth paying the shipping on it? Am I going to find this, a week from now half the price?
Yeah.
So I would rather go dig and, spend my Saturday out looking for records.
As nice as it is to look for early pressings and things, I'm still at the point where I care more about condition. I want it to be vintage, don't get me wrong. So I feel I don't necessarily like buying like 2012 wood pressing.
Yeah, I'm not big on that either. Like the 100, like I'm sure they're great quality, 180 gram vinyl for the most part. But it's always like, hey man, do I want to pay $30 for the new one, or do I want to hold out for an original and pay the same price or less?
Yeah, there's a student who works for the student newspaper who has just sent like a blanket email to all of the arts and science faculty. Like in the email said, just give me like a 1 or 2 sentence response about what your favorite movie is and why you like it. I compose a 2-page single space email. I was like, never ask a communication professor what their favorite movie is. You are not in for a short answer. And I edited this thing. I worked on this email for probably close to an hour and sent it out to her, and it didn't get read. 180 grams. Oh, but when you take one out, you're just like, yes, this is substantial. Oh, and thank you. Because you get like a record that's incredibly popular, and I could probably buy a copy of it anywhere. You know, Carol's Tapestry, they probably have like 14 of them in that shop. And yet, they're so popular that the quality is bad because no one's taking care of them over the years. They're a Carol thing. So, you know, covers beat up. But I don't really feel like paying, you know, $19 for a good copy of that, because while I like it quite a bit, and it's in my top 100 albums, I think it's great, but I know I can find it anywhere, so I'm like, nah, I'm not really going to pay $19 for it. That's that Paramount box set.
Oh gosh, that just
The $400, like, and so much of it is just on a key that they give you, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how worth it that is. All about packaging. It comes in a handcrafted mahogany box.
It's just like so hipsterish, but I want it. You know, like I admit that I have those hipster tendencies, like especially with the record collecting, and it's like mahogany box. Like there's just like that duality there where I'm like I'm sickened and attracted to it. I can pretty much how my wife probably feels towards me. Just in general, like you sort of disgust me, but I love you. My brother, so we're in Georgia on vacation for Christmas, and we go to church with my grandparents on Sunday, and I had another flannel shirt on like this, and another t-shirt on, and left it open, and we get back from the service with my brother, and it's like, is that style coming back? Like there were a lot of people with like the, you know, the flannel or button up with the, you know, unbuttoned and the shirt underneath, and I told him, I go, this is just completely out of necessity, I can't even button these anymore, like, so they're staying open because.
I guess you do have to just kind of wait forever for someone with a great collection to die.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
So
It's sad, and it's like really morbid, but
crazy, because I talked to Nate. His dad has a really, really nice record collection, and used to listen to it. I'm sure he still does, but listened to it quite a bit when we were kids. So I would go over there, and now he just refers to them as my records, and I'm like, oh, they're your dad's, they're mine.
Luckily for us, we don't have to wait on the other to die in order to experience their collection. We ended up back at my house after the dig, listening to our new finds and some old favorites, and we talked some more about records, movies, and everything else in between. Despite its outward appearance, GB's ended up being a really good spot, and we came home with some pretty good finds. I guess it's like our wives always say about us. We wouldn't say they're ugly, but it sure doesn't hurt that they've got some personality. And GB certainly had plenty of personality, but it'll be a place I go back to again. Oh, did I mention Sam's dog Watson has no eyes? Well, anyway, I'll see you soon on my next record run.